Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah is inside of the conscientious, so I move.
What would you think about a parent whose children are hungry? They let them starve. Likewise, here in South Carolina's 6th Congressional District, we are the 6th poorest district out of 435 total as of the year 2021. And yet, where is our Congressman, James Clyburn? I can tell you, he says he will be in California, in North Carolina, and Florida, and Georgia. But what about the needs of South Carolinians? I was born here, I was raised here, I live here, and I'm going to be here. You will never have to ask, where is Marcel?
But the thing is, family, we got this thing where we've sat up here and let people get comfortable with the disrespect. Now, earlier today, I posted this on my Instagram. This white Hispanic was up there in Texas. This fool jumped out of his car with a damn chainsaw on a bunch of white folks who were protesting for black people. See, that's another thing. A lot of these anti-black groups, they're trying to attack other white people now for speaking up for black folks. So this is this white Hispanic dude down in Texas. This is McAllen, Texas. He jumps out of his truck. Check this out.
Don't let those fucking niggas up there fool you. Don't let this fucking trash and deep bullshit people fool you. Don't let these pendejos right here. Don't let these fucking assholes lie to you. Don't let them lie to you. It's a body.
Oh, okay. So he's like, don't let those niggers lie to you. So he's out here, you know, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. See, the thing is, because we're talking about our issues and we're not including them now we're talking about black issues. We're not saying black and brown like we used to. We're not talking about no coalition between minorities. We're talking about blackness. Black is on the table. So now all of these other groups are starting to show their damn true colors now, especially these damn Hispanic groups. They're really showing their colors now. Now that we're not letting them piggyback off of us, now that they ain't gaining anything now like they used to, now they're showing their true colors. Saying, shit, we can stop being fake. We can just say what we've been saying behind closed doors. Fuck they niggers. Fuck these niggers. That's why in Chicago, we've seen the Latinos out there trying to go against the blacks, and the black folks shut that shit down. Up there in New York, them damn Dominicans trying to go against blacks, that shit got shut down. So now they're showing their true colors now because we're not letting them eat off us like they used to. You understand? They're mad now. Even in chat rooms, when we're talking about Black Lives Matter, I've seen a couple of motherfuckers talking about Latinos' lives matter too. Latinos' lives matter too. So yeah, the ride is over now. Now we realized what the game is, and now the ride is over. You dig? So now they're like, fuck it, we can stop being fake and let these niggers know how we really feel. And see, black folks, we've had this thing for so long where we try to make excuses for these people by pointing out that they have African ancestry. Well, no, man. Hey, Tariq, we should have a black-brown coalition. I said we shouldn't because they don't look at themselves as us. But we got to understand that they got African ancestry in them too. Now, they are our brothers. Nigga, just because they have African ancestry don't mean that they look at us as a brother. Nigga, they hate their African ancestry. If they hate their own ancestry, you know they hate us. Black folks, because that's niggas up here trying to get some Hispanic pussy. That's what niggas say to justify fucking on these damn Latinas. You know, that's the niggas trying to justify getting some Latina pussy. And y'all women out here, y'all hood rats fucking these Rico Suave ass niggas out here trying to get you a little mixed baby. You dig? So You got these folks out here who are desperately trying to show some allegiance to white supremacist society now. Especially them Cubans. It's really hard. Here's another video. This video came out this week. There's a woman down here in Miami. Her name was Crescencia Arias. And the ironic thing is this woman worked at a company down there, the Community Health Center down in Miami. This was founded by a Black woman named Doris Eisen. There's a Black woman who founded this country, and this pickle nose wench was up here working at the place. So she did this video talking real greasy about Black people. Now, this is a Cuban woman who's down there in Miami. And notice at the end, she throws up the white supremacist hand signal. Now, look at this.
Hashtag of like, our pockets matter. Like, we literally take care of these Black people's families.
Okay. We gotta go slow with this one. I gotta break it down line by line. So this Cuban broad who's over here eating off us, this Cuban immigrant. See, this is why we've let these people cape. We've caped for these people and let them eat off us to the point where it's just disrespectful. When you let people mooch off you for so long, they just get disrespectful with it. She did lose her job. Yes, she did, because this thing went viral. But she's up here talking about the Blacks live off us. We have to take care of the Blacks. While she's over here on our land. You understand? Okay.
Most of these motherfuckers take up all the jails. And then when they go to jail, they have like 10 fucking children.
Okay. She said on our tax dollars. Bitch, you're in our country. You're literally over here because of our tax dollars. We paid for your wide nostril ass to get over here. Kids, really? See, what she's doing, guys, she's doing a lot of projecting. Them Cubans be on welfare like a motherfucker with a gang of kids when they get over here. Really? We got a gang of kids. We on welfare. Really? That's projection. This broad is projecting. Okay, hold on.
And then we have to fucking maintain their 10 children and with food stamps and Plan Aid and whatnot. And then they act like nobody cares for them. Oh my God, a sob story. These fucking niggers. If you want, I could give you a fucking handkerchief.
Okay. So this woman, who's basically a light-skinned Negro with peroxide in her hair, okay, she's trying to identify with white supremacy. She's trying to identify with white supremacy. And again, it's our fault for empowering these people, family. We've empowered these assholes. We've made a mistake. We're going to have to acknowledge when we've made a mistake.
All right, we here.
We here, and we learn from our mistakes.
We have definitely learned from our mistakes. We have definitely learned from our mistakes, and we are getting our act together.
And on code.
Shout out to our brother Tariq Nasheed.
Absolutely.
I had to open up the show with Tariq today, man, because you know we got a heavy topic to discuss, an important topic to discuss. There are some opposing views in the community on this topic too, man. So this is going to be an interesting one. But first of all, welcome everybody to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. For those of you who do not know, I am the God Sincere Love, and this is my lovely co-host, Nicety Girl in the digital building. How's everybody doing on this Sunday?
I'm good. I know you good. The family good. I see y'all in the chat. What's up?
Peace, peace, peace to the family. Yes, indeed. Eid Mubarak To all my Muslim brothers and sisters out there, today is the last day of fasting for the Muslim world. I know y'all getting ready to break bread tonight and have that good old Eid feast. So shout out to y'all. Peace, peace, peace to everybody tapping in with us nice and early. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share button, subscribe button, and click that notification bell. But share this out right now on your social media platform. Put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook. Let everybody know that me and my sister are live and we got some important topics to chop it up with y'all this week. So share this out. Let everybody know that we live. Tell them to come on and tap in with us. Ask them how they feel about the subject. When you post the link, ask the question: is calling ICE on illegal immigrants considered snitching? Ask the people how they feel about it and tell them to come tap in with the conversation. Is calling ICE on illegal immigrants considered snitching? That's the main topic that we're going to be talking about tonight. But we got a lot of other stuff to talk about as well, right? A lot of other stuff been going on, and so we're going to have to touch on quite a few things on this Sunday. But first of all, what's going on? What's going on with you, Nicely?
Nothing, man. I literally knocked out early. Like, I didn't realize I've been tired, just tired, needed some, sleep. So I've been on lazy mode like since yesterday, like lazy today, lazy AF. I only got out the bed and combed my hair and did something with my face for y'all. Thank me.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Definitely. I was feeling like that the first part of the day, a little bit earlier. What my intentions was to get up and take 7 with me out on a nature trail walk, but I didn't end up doing that. I wasn't feeling like it. But I had a lot of cleaning up to do around the house, so eventually I had to snap out of it and get my house in order. Had to run to the store and get a few things. As you know, I don't think I shared it with the family, but we're currently looking for a new place. We've been house shopping. We're renting. We're not looking to purchase nothing right now. We're not looking to get a mortgage right now, but we're looking for a new house to rent. The place that we currently staying in, the landlord decided to sell it, and they gave us 60 days to evacuate the premises.
Right.
So we've been house hunting like a motherfucker, looking for houses all day, every day. That's all we've been doing. And so I did some cleaning up around the house today and went and got some stuff, so we start packing and things of that nature. But
how's it going, though? How's the house hunting going? How's that?
I mean, process? you know how it goes, man. You know how it goes, man. Right now the prices is so high out here. It's crazy out here. The prices is high, but the thing that's really making it a little bit more difficult for us is we're trying to keep my son, my 16-year-old, in the same high school.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a junior next year. He playing varsity basketball and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So he wants to finish where he's at with his squad and all of that. So we don't want to leave the school district. You know what I'm saying? And then, all of our other requirements that we need. We have to find everything that fits within our parameters, and without having to leave the school district. So that's what making it a little bit difficult. But we've seen some nice places. You know what I'm saying? A couple of them got snatched up real quick before we even had a chance to even take a good look at them. A couple of them that I was really interested in, they got snatched up quick. But we're looking at a couple of more places this week, of course. But what's interesting about this, though? What's interesting about this house hunting thing? And I saw somebody else post this on Twitter too. But I definitely noticed this when you go on these websites, Zillow.com, Rently.com, and Hotpads.com, and all of these places. You notice something. They have a little sticker by most of the houses that say LGBTQ vouchers.
What is that?
LGBTQ vouchers. And so I kept seeing this pop up, and I'm like, well, what does this mean? So I went and checked it out. I did some investigation on it. And you know how when you're looking for a place, there's certain requirements that you have to meet in order to rent. You know,
Right.
your credit got to be at a certain amount. You usually have to make three to four times whatever the rent is. You have to have your total income has to be at least 3 to 4 times whatever the rent is. You have to show proof
Rental
of income.
history.
Yeah, your rental history, proof of income, whether it's your like for me, I'm self-employed, so I have to show 2 years W-2 forms. I mean, 2 years of tax forms, and my wife has to show her last 2 pay stubs. You know what I'm saying? But with the LGBT vouchers, you know, a lot of them work in the sex industry, and so you don't have to show what proof of income. That's considered discrimination. You know what I'm saying? That's one aspect of it. But not only that, that the part where you have to make 3 to 4 times your rent only applies to them because if they have this voucher as an LGBT person, part of their rent is being paid it's being subsidized. So they don't have to make 3 to 4 times the rent, basically. They don't have to make that much because they got this voucher.
So is that Section 8? So basically they're getting Section 8.
Section 8.
It's Section 8.
It's Section 8. It's Section 8. I'm looking at this. I'm tripping out. Me and my wife like, yo, ain't this some shit? We ready to tell her like, yo, maybe we should put your homegirl on here and say that y'all go together. You know what I'm saying? And she got a white homegirl too. So I'm like, listen, you got your white homegirl. Y'all could be LGBT and swirling.
And get this voucher. And get this voucher.
Bussy 8 vouchers.
Bussy 8. Oh my God. Bussy 8 vouchers.
And y'all think I'm bullshitting. Let me share this with y'all.
Yeah, I need to see this. I've never seen it. Because
y'all think I'm bullshitting. This is crazy. Black people get nothing. They got shit like this for immigrants as well, too. All of these Afghans they're bringing over here, these Ukrainians that they're bringing over here, they got stuff like this lined up for them as well. So check this out. Let me see. Where am I at? Okay. Impossible minimum income requirements prevent voucher holders from finding housing. Minimum income requirements set by housing providers to screen out housing voucher holders are a legal source of income discrimination. Mm-hmm. These people are protected class, right?
Right.
Many housing providers use minimum income requirements as part of their application screening process for tenants. Generally, the purpose of minimum income requirements is to determine whether an applicant likely has enough income to cover the cost of rent. However, some housing providers in Washington, D.C. are using minimum income requirements as a tool to screen out potential applicants with housing vouchers. So they're specifically talking about Washington, D.C., but this is going on here in Georgia, too. Last year, a local resident, where is it at? Last year, hold on. Why did my screen get smaller? Let me reset that. There we go. Last year, a local resident with a housing choice voucher, Jane Doe, reached out to the ERC. What is the ERC?
That is crazy.
What is the ERC? I don't know what ERC is. Because she was facing difficulty in her housing search. After finding a property that she was interested in, Jane reached out to the housing provider and let them know she would be paying her rent using a voucher. The housing provider told her that there was a minimum income requirement of $120,000 to be approved for the property. Jane was devastated. Her income did not qualify. And so, yeah, this one is sharing this story, but the other site I was on was actually breaking down how the vouchers work. And it was saying that with that voucher, this income minimum wouldn't apply to that person. And when you see that tag next to these houses, whether it's for sale or for rent or whatever, when you see that tag next to these houses, that means they're in compliance with this statute. I don't know if it's a statute or if it's a law or what it is, but it's some kind of set aside.
I wonder how many Black LGBT people know of this voucher and are benefiting off of this voucher because as we know, a lot of our LGBT brothers and sisters do not get these same benefits because
Right,
they're Black.
right. Mm.
I would love to know how many know about this situation here and how many are benefiting.
So a housing voucher or subsidy allows an individual or family with low income to obtain housing in the private market by subsidizing their rent. Vouchers usually cover a portion of the rent, with the voucher holder paying the remaining amount. However, in some cases, a voucher will cover the entirety of the voucher holder's rent. The voucher payment comes from the local housing authority, other government agency, or nonprofit organization, and the tenant's payment comes from their own income or savings. So some of these people is paying $0.00 a month. Equal Rights Center. Thank you, Nikki the God. That's the Equal Rights Center. That's what ERC stands for. So yeah, ain't that crazy?
Wild. I mean, we learn something every day. We learn something
No,
every day. Here in California, the trans community in Palm Springs are getting, I believe, $900 a month. Because they're trans.
mhm.
That's reparations for the trans community. And I don't know if anyone has ever, traveled to Palm Springs, California for a vacation. I love Palm Springs. I like to say that it's one of my favorite places. It's about an hour and a half drive from where I am. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. But it's very LGBT, you know, very LGBT. But I just don't understand how it is. And there's no Black people there, by the way. Like if you see Black people there, they're there for a vacation. They're there on at the resorts
They
there.
got flued out for a bussy
Yeah.
trip.
Yes, absolutely. There's no Black people that live there at all. We go there for vacation, but there's none of us that live there at all. And honestly, as beautiful as it is, and the resorts and stuff are beautiful, when you're out shopping, going to restaurants and stuff like that, because they're not used to seeing your Black ass there, like you get looks. They're like, where these niggas come from? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you do get that. But I do love Palm Springs though,
They might
nonetheless.
think you out. They might think you out there looking for a date.
Maybe,
I think
maybe.
you out there looking. That's well, Ed Buck territory.
Right. It could be because I mean you see the flags everywhere outside of every restaurant, bar, etc. They letting you know that their presence is there. You see it all
But
through there.
listen, I don't like calling that reparations, because as we know, reparations, the root word of reparations is repair. So
Right.
there's nothing to be repaired for. They haven't been aggrieved.
But they
They
said they
just
have
they just getting free handouts. They getting unearned benefits. That's what
benefits.
they
I
get.
agree. I agree with you on that, but they're saying that they have been aggrieved.
Right.
They're saying that they have been discriminated against, and what they call discrimination is if it's a male to female trans person, their aggrievement is a straight Black man doesn't want to date them. That means
Right.
they've been aggrieved, and that's crazy to me because a Black straight man has a choice as to who he wants to date, and if he doesn't want to date a male to female trans person, meaning someone that still has a dingling, that's his choice.
Facts. And if that is an aggrievement, which is not, it's not a government sanctioned aggrievement.
Mm-mm. No, not at
You know
all.
what I'm saying? Not yet. Anyway.
Keyword. Keyword.
But right, Crown 808, people are being incentivized to be LGBT,
Yeah.
because when you hear that, it's like when I pointed out to my son, he's like, "Well, Dad, just tell him you're gay."
I
You know what I'm saying? That's
like how he thinks.
that's most people first thought. Like, okay, how can I get in on that? They start doing the
Right.
Birdman hand rub. Like, okay, let me see. I might have to, let me borrow your outfit, boo. I'll go over here and get one of these vouchers.
It's
Let me put on some of this fashion over. Go get me one of these vouchers.
The thing
But
is,
man,
your skin color though is going to prevent you from getting it
they're
unless
gonna they're
you
gonna make
have
they're gonna make
maybe
you
a white
jump through some
spouse.
hoops,
Right.
unless you're willing to demonstrate, how LGBT you are. Unless you're willing to demonstrate,
Right.
they might have you doing something strange for a voucher.
Yeah, I mean, we know that, it's a lot of trickery to me when it comes to this whole LGBT thing because, even in the prison system, you have this trans man who's impregnated two, what I'm saying, two females in the prison that he chose to be in because he's LGBT. So now I'm thinking maybe he's saying he's a lesbian.
And another one, raped somebody on Rikers Island.
See? I didn't
Trans,
even know about
born
that.
a man, identifies as a woman. They got him in the women's housing unit on Rikers Island, and he just
Yeah.
raped one of the sisters over there.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So how far y'all trying to go with this shit, man? I mean, it was
I
common
know.
sense. It was common sense that this type of shit was going to happen when they first started, pushing this thing heavy. That was like one of the main questions I had in my mind. Like, okay, so if I identify as a woman and I catch a case, I go to the women's house, and in my mind, I'm thinking, of course, that's ridiculous. That would never happen. But they really doing this shit.
No, they're really doing it. They're really doing it. And remember, y'all boy, Jim Crow Joe Biden, the segregationist in chief, he made sure that when he was running for the presidency, that he prioritized this community. So y'all can thank him, for taking reparations out our mouths and giving unearned benefits to all these other groups.
Right. Right. That's exactly what is going on out here. So yeah, man, I just thought that was crazy. Looking for these places, when I kept seeing that over and over. I'm like, what is this LGBT voucher?
How
First
do
I'm
you
just
prove you're LGBT? Like,
right,
to get this voucher, how do you prove that? You
right.
just say it? Interesting.
Right. I'm not curious enough to find out. I'm not curious enough to find out. The thought did cross my mind, but now I'm cool. I'm cool. We're just gonna have to meet these requirements to get what we gotta get. But so what you want to do, man? You want to get right into the topic?
Why not? We can hit the other topics, kind of towards the end. So yeah, let's get into it. Topic of tonight is calling immigration snitching. Do you think Black people that's considered snitching? Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
I say no. It's not snitching because it's not one, it's not the same thing because calling immigration is not calling the police. That's number one. I do understand why some of our people feel the way that they do feel about it and
How
why
do some of the
they
people feel about it? How do some of the people feel about it?
well, I'll say this. The people that feel some kind of way about it, it's that they don't feel comfortable calling immigration on Black immigrants. It's not everybody else. It's specifically they have a problem with if they have to call immigration on someone that looks like them, which I feel like if there's an immigrant that looks like you that's causing a ruckus in our community, that's off code, doing dumb shit or whatever in our community, fair game.
But generally, Black immigrants are not here illegally. Generally,
Generally. But that was what I was
when you,
saying.
when you think about illegal immigrants, you think mostly about Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? White immigrants are usually here legally. Asian immigrants are usually here legally, and Black immigrants. Not always, but generally.
I don't think the Asian ones get a lot of highlight, but here in California, there was, and it's a city here in Orange County called Irvine, California. It's in the Orange County sector or whatever. Huge Asian demographic. There's several times immigration has gone and popped several of them out over there, all undocumented. And what they were trying to do, of course, was it was some type of illegal illegal thing they had going on where they were trying to, it was a bunch of illegals here, but they were getting pregnant here. So that was their way of trying to stay here. So they got this house, several houses out there, and it was just like a bunch of pregnant immigrants. And that, all illegal, fresh off the boat, cannot speak a lick of English, like huge thing here with the illegal. So Asians here, a lot of them are illegal.
I believe it. I believe it. I believe that. for sure, because they
And
do.
we're surrounded by ports,
I
y'all.
was about to say
We're
that. That's what I
surrounded
was
by a
about to
bunch of
say.
ports here in California, all over.
They do own and control a lot of those ports, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how a lot of the drugs and guns get into our communities and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So they smuggling fentanyl. I wouldn't be surprised if they smuggling their little cousins too.
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying? To come over here and work for cheap wages and all of that. You know what I'm saying? To come over here, do something strange for a piece of change in some of those massage parlors and all of that shit. That wouldn't surprise me at all. So yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. But go ahead, finish what you were saying though.
Oh, so what I was hearing in the spaces that we're in, most of them have problem with, calling on Black immigrants. Also, it was a few people that, they're they're just mixing hood stuff up with what we need to be on code with. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of you guys are not necessarily hood. You just claim it because you live in it, but you're not really a part of that life. And you just cannot conflate the two to me. You're trying to apply street code, to something that has nothing to do with the streets. This is one, we're in war. This is being patriotic. This is being on code. As my
Hmm.
brother said, dun, 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 dun. Ice, ice base, baby. Call them once, call them twice, call them all day, 3 times a week if you have to. Do what you gotta do. This is patriotic.
All right.
Be
All
a
right.
patriot. And also, what I didn't understand is like these very people that you're trying to not call on, whether it's the non-black ones, they don't have a problem with calling them on you. You know what I'm saying? You playing your music too loud. They calling. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of reasons that they'll call on you that, when you can just knock on the door and have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, can you please turn your music down? I gotta get up and go to work, early. Black people ain't, mean like that. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, let me turn this down real quick. Just a conversation. But you calling because you're hoping that we get shot down in the street. That's why you calling.
Yes, and that's the major problem. Just overall, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of the immigrants that come over here, they are decidedly anti-black, and they're looking to basically team up with the dominant society to further oppress foundational Black Americans.
Period.
And that's the reason why foundational Black Americans have been getting on code, circling our wagons, and distinguishing ourselves from other groups in order to get some of the riffraff and out of our circles, and to link up with like-minded individuals. You know what I'm saying? We're cultivating a certain mindset and a
Mm-hmm.
certain standard within foundational Black American culture, within the foundational Black American community in general.
Community.
We're getting our political game together. We're tightening up as far as the culture is concerned and things of that nature, right? And so this conversation right here is a continuation from some of the conversations that have been happening on Twitter Space, where the foundational Black American family with the Security Tribe, um, folks over there on Twitter. And I was a little late to the party. I know there was a lot of there was a few. Say what?
It's been going on for days. It didn't start with the Security Tribe. They just kind of had a space about it today. But it's been going on, I'll say, for about 3 days at this point.
Right,
Maybe
right,
2
right. I've been seeing the headlines and some of the tweets and stuff, but I hadn't had a chance to listen into the spaces until today.
weeks.
I checked out a piece of one of them that D Tubman posted on her YouTube channel. Shout out to D Tubman. Happy birthday, D. She had a
Happy
birthday, was
birthday
it
to you.
yesterday? Happy birthday to
Yesterday.
D Tubman. She posted like a short clip of one of the spaces that Tyreek was in. So I listened to that and I heard some of the space that was going on today with Security Tribe. Somebody's rolling their eyes in the chat. I'm just saying, I'm just saying where I got filled in at. You know what I'm saying? Where I
Right.
got caught up in the conversation at. You know what I mean? It was them folks. They was having a conversation. Marcel was in there. I didn't even get to hear Marcel speak.
I'm
So
telling you, this is how he enters, by the way.
tell me what Marcel was saying, because I didn't hear
Marcel
him at all on
enters.
this.
This is Marcel, right? So they're like, okay, we have our brother Marcel Dixon, who's running for, the 6th district, South Carolina, da da da, giving this great intro. Marcel, dun 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 dun, ice, baby, and then he call him. His whole thing is, and he made a great point today. In all the other spaces, he hadn't touched on this point, but today he did. You have people, he works in the school system, he's a teacher, and he has to teach illegal immigrants because that's what they're required to do. Okay, fine. One point that he made was these same people who are here illegally, they don't, they come here with anti-blackness. How many times he's had to stop, or call out a little immigrant boy or girl calling a foundational Black American a nigger? Where did they learn that from? So they know that a black skinned person is nigger. Also, he made a good point. Don't say that you're against calling ICE because of some type of street code when in fact you send your children to school every day to anti-black teachers and staff members at a school. Your kid coming home telling you all types of stuff, but you still sending to school every single day to an anti-black teacher, principal, and other staff members. You're also going to the doctor to be seen by potentially an anti-black doctor. That's not stopping you from going to see an anti-black doctor. So all of a sudden now, I don't mind if someone else calling. If they call, I just don't want to do it because it just ain't right to me. It just don't sit right with me. Why? How does it not sit right with you? It doesn't make sense.
I don't know if I get that correlation though.
I think that, so again, what I gathered was they were tying in hood stuff, meaning, snitch culture to this, and it's not the same thing. Snitch culture is you and I go do a crime. Right? You get caught. Nigga, right. You go do that time. You don't snitch on me because you knew what could potentially happen when we agreed to do whatever dirt we agreed to do. Also, we don't snitch on each other. How about that? And then when I say each other, foundational Black Americans.
Well, the first part of that is absolutely correct. Second part about that, I don't know. That ain't how the game go. That ain't how the game go. So let me give y'all my take on this whole thing. First of all, I agree with that first part of the statement. So the question is calling ICE on illegal immigrants considered snitching? And the answer is emphatically no. No. The answer is emphatically no, because like you just explained, snitching is part of a street code. Whereas if you of a certain element, and I can speak on this because I come from the streets, you know what I'm saying? I'm not active in the streets, of course, anymore. I'm a family man now, you know what I'm saying? But I do have quite a storied background, you know what I'm saying, that I haven't really shared with y'all yet. But you know what I'm saying? I do have quite a storied background. I'm certified. I'll just say that. And so when it comes to not snitching, like you said, that's a code of the street. When you know that you're involved in a certain lifestyle, when shit hit the fan, you know what you signed up for. You got to keep your mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit down. You got to take whatever come with that lifestyle. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that applies across the board. That doesn't just apply to your homeboys. It's only okay to not snitch on your homeboys, or it's only okay to not snitch on other foundational Black Americans. But you in the street, the connect ain't a foundational Black American. You know what I'm saying? When you in the street, most of your connects is Mexican, they Colombian, they Dominicans, and all of that. And y'all doing business together. So it ain't cool to snitch on them just because they not foundational Black American. You know what I'm saying? You get caught up, you did the crime, you got to do the time for the most part. You know what I'm saying? You can't just run your mouth to try to save your own ass by throwing other people under the bus when all of y'all know what y'all signed up for. That's what snitching is. Now, what we talking about with this ICE thing, we talking about law-abiding citizens, you know what I'm saying, who are trying to secure a better life for themselves, who are looking at what's happening around them and seeing how we're being undermined as a people, as a group, and they're looking for solutions to the problem. They're looking for practical solutions to the problem. So now officially, I'm saying I'm not out here calling ICE. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I'm not calling ICE personally, but I'm not saying calling ICE is snitching, and I'm not mad at none of y'all if that's how y'all decide to get down. If y'all getting some people up off the job, you know, some bullshit going on, or some people in your neighborhoods, you know that they're illegal and some bullshit is going on, and you try to get some riffraff up out of there, and that's how you decide to handle it, by all means, do what you do. I'm not here to stop you. I'm not here to judge the situation one way or the other. Do what you do. I'm just saying, me personally, I'm not out here looking for an opportunity to okay, I'll do that in a second. I'm not out here looking for an opportunity to to call ICE on anyone. But that's not no violation of anything. That's not no violation of no type of code whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? It's fair game as far as I'm concerned.
I don't think that anyone is looking for it, but if you see it, you know what I'm saying? If you see it, if you notice it, a lot of these people working in factories, case in point.
Some people is looking for it. I heard a lady today say, listen, y'all call me if you see anything. I don't care what city you in, what state you in. Some people's on that type of time, and I'm saying ain't nothing wrong with that either. If people are looking for practical solutions to a problem, right, and they're saying this is the way to go, do it and see if you get the results that you're looking for. To me, it's just a emotional reaction, and it's kind of petty. I don't think it's a practical solution to the problem because, number one, the people that are here illegally, for the most part, are allowed to be here illegally. ICE is not incompetent. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't want them here, they know how to find them. They know where they at. They know how to get them up out of here. They don't need our assistance. So it's not like
they did the Haitians in Texas.
Like they did the Haitians, but they didn't even give them a chance to get here.
Right. I mean, they met them strong, at the border.
Right. They know how to right. They know how to shut it down to begin with, to stop them from coming over here to begin with. And they know how to round people up that don't belong here if that's what they're looking to do. But that's not what they're looking to do. So to me, it's not a practical solution to the problem. But if people want to do that, I'm not here to stand in the way. I'm not here to, you know what I'm saying? Do what you do. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is a practical solution. I just don't see it as a practical solution. I just think that it's just something that's petty, which you're allowed to be petty if you want to be petty. You have every right to be petty if you want to be petty.
But it has been practical. Which is one of the videos that I sent you in the DM, out in, this was in Chicago. After 800 illegal Hispanics were removed from the Chicago Clover Hill Bakery by ICE,
I remember
the ratio of 90% Hispanic, 10% Black American workers shifted to 90% Black American workers to 10% Hispanic. The Black Americans had enough. They called ICE to report them, and you should too, right? So in that case, it was very much practical because these people were being shut out of employment. This woman who was actually speaking wasn't getting any hours. She wasn't making enough money to pay her rent because they were prioritizing illegals over her and other Black people. And they knew that they had been hiring a bunch of immigrants, so they called ICE. And look at that shift.
I agree with that. 100%. They got them up out the paint, and Black folks got them jobs. So that's what's up.
So a week after the race, one of the poultry companies of a job fair.
Go ahead.
So this one that's playing right now, this is the same thing pretty much happened in Mississippi with another plant out there. I believe it was about 600 or 700 illegal immigrants that they found there. And that ratio again shifted for the Black workers in Mississippi to secure those jobs. See, what pisses me off is I hear a lot of people always saying Black people don't want to work. Oh, niggas don't want nothing. Niggas don't want to do this. They don't want these jobs, et cetera, et cetera. It's not that Black people don't want the jobs. Black people want opportunities and they want a livable wage, and they're not being prioritized. Other groups are.
That's a fact. Black people are not willing to work for the scraps and the pennies that some of these other people come over here desperate to work for, and that's what undermines us. And so when you get them out the paint, then not only are they forced to give Black folks their employment, but they're also forced to pay them a decent, respectable, livable wage. Also. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because that takes away that competition, which unfair competition. I call it that, the unfair competition, when you bringing people in here who ain't got nothing, just happy to be on the soil, and they'll work for a couple of strawberries.
And also they don't have to pay these people benefits, medical and dental and all this stuff. So the employers also need to be held accountable for this too, because they're willfully and knowingly doing this to Black Americans.
And that's one thing I like about Marcel. Shout out to Marcel Dixon, of course. That's one thing I like about his platform as well, because he talks about going after those employers. You know what I'm saying? He don't even talk about necessarily going after the actual workers, the illegal, the ones that's hanging out at Home Depot waiting to get picked up and all that. He's going after the actual employees who are giving these people the jobs in the first place.
Right.
So that's getting to the root of the matter. But you want me to play this now?
Yeah, you can.
So a week after the raids, one of the poultry companies involved held a job fair.
WJTV 12's Shay O'Connor reports from Koch Foods in Scott County.
Bright and early Monday morning, dozens of people turned out at Cook Foods employment centers in Martin and the Wynn Job Center in Forest are looking for a job.
I heard that, they were hiring, so I came down here to see if they needed somebody to drive one of the trucks for them, and me and my cousins, we came up here to see if they were hiring anywhere else in the warehouse.
The influx in job openings comes nearly a week after 680 undocumented workers were detained in ICE raids at food plants across the state. In the town of Morton alone, 243 people were taken from food plants, Cook Foods being where the highest numbers of workers were detained. Organizers with Wynn Job Center in Forest say they were contacted by the food company last week to conduct the fair.
They have to continue with business as usual. When they continue with business as usual, that means that they have to have enough people in order to process the poultry. And if they don't have that, then of course the lines are going to go down and they're not going to be able to be as productive as they should.
Cook Foods has at least 3 locations within the Morton area. Many who live in or near the small town say the plant doesn't hire much. Vermandis Davis says he is still shaken up by the raids, but says the job openings provide an opportunity for many.
I'm praying for the families of the people that got detained for the situation that happened, but I feel bad for everything, but it just opened up more doors for other people that couldn't get anything done.
And that's Black people for you, boy.
Yeah, what you praying for them for? Hell, they didn't give a fuck about you and your family not having no job. Hell.
Yeah. That's Black people for you, boy. Hey, Jackson, y'all got a lot of Mexicans out there in Mississippi? I know you in Texas now, but I know you from Mississippi. Y'all got a lot of Mexicans like that down there? Oh, my bad. I shared the wrong thing. Hold on. You put another video in there?
Yeah, it was a woman. She's sitting down, the female.
But situations like that, yes, I agree with you 100%. That's very practical. And I ain't mad at that at all.
In situations like this, not only is it practical in the workforce, but also when it comes to renting, say, apartments and stuff like that. What I learned in these spaces is that what I learned. Also,
no. You said it's also practical with what?
With like renting apartments. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times homelessness has gone up. A lot of people out here, specifically in California, they literally put the for rent signs in Spanish. So why would you, as an FBA person, even call that number? Because clearly you don't want me. It's in Spanish. Si renta, whatever. It's in Spanish or whatever. But what I learned also in these spaces is that an illegal alien that goes and rents an apartment, you as a landlord cannot raise their rent, nor can you evict them if they stop paying. They have protections around them as illegal aliens that protects them from rent being raised, right? And I'm in California, I come from the Long Beach area before I bought my place, and there's no rent control there. So the reason I was pretty much forced into purchasing my property because rent was kind of going up literally like every 6 months, y'all. I felt like it was like constantly, next month, another $50, next month, $100. So it was no rent control. But here, they have so much protection. And the key word is illegal. Right. You can't evict these people and you cannot raise their rent. The hell?
Right. And so that's what I'm saying about situations like that. That's being done by design. These people obviously have these protections in place. So I don't think calling ICE is going to rectify that problem. You know what I'm saying? Because your local government wants those people there. They put those.
Call them, and if they only take 10 out of the damn 100, that's 10
Listen,
more
I'm not saying don't
opportunities
call
for
them.
you. Oh.
I'm not saying don't call them. I'm not saying don't call them. Do what you do. I ain't mad at all.
Calling ICE is not just one thing. We're not saying this is the only way. This is one of the strategies amongst many others as we continue to galvanize, and strategize with one another. This is just one, though. This is not, we're not saying this is just the way. This is one of the many ways, that we can start to see things get done, and we also have to push these politicians. We also need to get rid of these whole sanctuary states and stuff like that. There should not be a thing called a sanctuary state or a sanctuary city. If you come here illegally, meaning you broke the law, you get your ass deported back and you come here the right way, like everyone else has to, like the Black immigrants have to.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. That goes with, getting our political game together. That goes with getting our political game together. And I think we're making a lot of the right steps. We're making a lot of steps in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? And so all hands on deck. All strategies are welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Another one.
We're not ostracizing nobody. We're not putting no stigma on nobody who feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that's conflating calling ICE with snitching, like you said earlier, those ain't really street dudes, because that don't even go with a street code. It's like you got niggas that'll say the old lady that caught the police on niggas smoking weed in the building or whatever the case may be is snitching. That's not that lady is not snitching, my nigga. She's not a part of your street code. She's a civilian. She's a civilian. What's she supposed to do? She supposed to whip y'all ass? She supposed to bust her gun? You know what I'm saying? She got to call the police.
But ICE isn't the police. ICE isn't the police too. And that's another thing. They were conflating ICE with police, and ICE is not the police. Those are two different, groups, basically. There's two different groups, and we also need to be applying for those jobs. We can't keep complaining, and I'll say this out here, because I'm in California, y'all, Tijuana, Mexico is only 2-hour drive from me. Okay. So when you see on the news channels and stuff about, people trying to get here on the border or ICE agents pushing them back, all the ICE agents are Hispanic. Most of them probably are first, second generation immigrants, they damn self. You know what I'm saying? So you really, they understand, because their grandmother, their grandfather, whatever, came here the same way to give them a better life. So you think they really gonna deport these people?
Right.
No.
And my dude got killed out there in Tijuana, man. Rest in power to my guy, Malcolm Shabazz, man. For those of y'all that don't know, I was good friends with Malcolm X's grandson.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, Malcolm Shabazz. And I had took him to the airport. You know what I'm saying? I had took him to the airport in Newark when he was going to California. He was out there really for me. You know what I'm saying? I had a mixtape out at the time, and he was going out there to play some of the music for some of his folks that was out there. And, we're communicating back and forth. And he letting me know, yo, dudes out here, they don't really rock with New York music like that, but they feeling your music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, flood them. I'm like, yo, go get some copies, make more copies, whatever you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Just giving them the green light. Hey, flood them. And next thing I know, I stopped hearing from them. And then somebody hit me on Facebook. They sent me an article on Facebook, saying he got killed in Mexico. And so I'm like, nah, this shit, I was just talking to him. He in California, he ain't in no Mexico, not even realizing, like you said, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But one article had him in Tijuana, another article had him in
Baja.
Not Baja.
Rosarito.
The other place.
Rosarito. That's another one. Those are literally, you can just drive there in a couple hours.
No, it was another part of Mexico. And really, I still don't know what the actual story is on that. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of different stories that was going around, but what actually happened to our brother. But rest in power to young Malcolm, man.
In my
Peace.
younger days, in my
Going on,
20s,
Kid Gravity?
what's up, King? Kid, we when I was in my 20s, we would literally drive to Tijuana just to party. Like it was big because Tijuana and San Diego are next door, so you can drive from like 30 minutes from if you live in San Diego, it's like 30 minutes into TJ, and so that was like the big party thing, especially for the military guys out there in San Diego. There's a huge military base in San Diego, California, so we would go out there because it would be flooded with black people. We would get a hotel in San Diego, drive on across the border, and go party because one, it was five $5 to get in and free to drink all night, literally. And it would be cracking. And that changed over the years. Right now on the news, they will tell you do not go to TJ. There's Hispanic people here, the American born ones that will tell you do not go to TJ.
Right.
That's how bad it is with the drug cartels. They're kidnapping people, to smuggle drugs. They use bodies to smuggle drugs in out here.
Right. And yeah, that's what I was hearing, man.
It's crazy.
That's what I was hearing. But yeah, that's how I feel about the situation, man. It's definitely not snitching.
No.
You know what I mean? And I see it as, being a part of the strategy. We trying to figure out different ways to solve a problem. And so anybody that got a problem with it need to be offering some type of alternative ways to solve the problem. You know what I'm saying? Don't just complain about something that you don't like. If you ain't trying to be the one like me, I probably ain't never gonna call ICE. If that's you, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But stay out the way though. Stay out the way. I ain't here to get in the way. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have an alternate solution for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on these jobs. I work for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on these jobs. I don't really have too much interaction with people unless I'm cutting their hair. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? But
the solution, though, is applying for these jobs within ICE. That's the solution. We're not heavily employed in those positions. And let me tell you, here in California, if I'm not mistaken, if you go on the website for the job, I think starting salary is like 80 grand.
80 grand.
Yeah.
That ain't bad if you're down here in the South.
No, not at all. And again, I don't know how it is, everywhere in every state, but yeah, I mean, they make decent money. The pension, they get basically what the police get as far as pension and shit. The benefits are great.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, something to look into. A job is a job. Shit.
A job is a job.
A job is a job. That's definitely something to look into. And you're going in there with a strategy. You're going in there with a certain mindset as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so you might want to try to work your way up the ranks once you get in. You know what I'm saying? So we can see who's aiding. You can see who's aiding and abetting. See who's aiding and abetting at the top. You know what I mean? Because like I said, these people are not incompetent.
No, they ain't trying. They're not trying. They're not trying. They're not. Let me tell you a story. This happened within the last 2 years.
Let me go grab my carrot juice. Right back.
My aunt has a property in LA, that she was working on. So in the meantime, she was staying at her other house. She had some illegals that squatted in her home, and it took her about 2 years to get them out. And they were all illegal aliens, literally could not speak English. She was actually getting neighbors in the area to try and help her communicate with them, which she believes that they were kind of helping them stay in her home. She was calling the police. She was doing everything to get them out, but she was such a nuisance herself. She would just, she just made her presence. They got tired of her, so they moved out, but it took about 2 years for them to get her out. And I even told her, why don't you call ICE? Like, that these people are illegals. Why aren't you calling ICE? And she never called ICE because her mindset was they're not going to do anything. But we don't know if we're not doing it. You can't say what's not going to be done if you're not, putting it into practice. Call them every day till they come. You need to start having, record of, your calls and with calling them, you know what I'm saying? So that you can hold them accountable for not doing their job. But don't say what they're not going to do if you're not putting it into practice. And luckily they're gone. They're all gone. Let me tell y'all, it was about in this house, and it's a 2-bedroom house. They had the whole house and the garage. They literally made her garage into a house. It was a bunch of them.
And people try to shame black people for not living like that.
Right.
People try to when they try to compare us to these other immigrant groups, coons. When they hear these niggas talking, like the dude I was debating with the other day on his platform, Brandon, whatever his name is. That's the type of shit that those niggas be saying. Well, these other groups, you know, they come over here. They'll have 3 different families, 4 different families, all living in the house, working together. Next thing you know, they all got their own shit. This, that, and the third. Like, listen, don't compare us to nobody, man. We incomparable, all right? We incomparable. Ain't nobody got our history. We are very unique, and we're not to be compared to none of these other groups.
And my
Period.
thing
Point
is,
blank.
saying that as if they're not doing that for a reason. They're doing that because they have to, because their asses are here piled up on each other because they're here illegally.
Right.
You don't have no paperwork. You can't show pay stubs. You can't show your ID. You don't have a social security card. All this bullshit. Like, shut up, nigga. That's why they're piled up on each other.
Right. And right, Bad Seed. Thank you. That was the other place. It was Mexico City.
Cali.
It was Mexico City. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really don't know if it was Mexico City or it was Tijuana. Like, both stories was flying around at that time, and it never really got cleared up as far as I know. And I was there. I was at the funeral and all of that. You know, I spoke with the aunties and all of that stuff about what was going on, and it was never really clear what happened. And actually, Malcolm's cousin, he got another cousin who's I think he's the last male family member living. Every male family member of that family died a tragic death. You know what I'm saying? And he got a cousin named Malik who was actually kind of mad at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted answers out of me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was the last person on the East Coast to see Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I took him to the airport. So they like, nah, you got to know something. He was coming at me like, yo, you got to know something. I showed him the text message like, yo, this was our last communication right here. You know what I mean?
Right. And you had he didn't tell you anything about going to Mexico. He was going to Cali.
Right. He was going to Cali. I don't even know how he ended up in Mexico. So yeah, I have no idea to this day, you know, what actually really happened with our brother. Because 1 minute he was at a bar in Mexico City. Next minute, he got shot on a rooftop in Tijuana, and it was just a whole bunch of different stories going on.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm
gonna play this one, and I'm gonna play this one, and then we can move on. On.
Shout out to Nas.
12 hours shift.
Say what?
I said shout out to Nas Escobar. He's the one who posted both these videos.
Oh yeah, shout out to Nas Escobar, good brother right there, man. Always bringing receipts and practical information to the table. Very, very sensible brother. Because sometimes I will say this, man. I will say this about sometimes in these spaces, you get a lot of niggas very emotional. You get a lot of niggas don't really know what the hell they talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I guess they're embraced because they're in agreement with what's being said. They're in agreement with the code or what's being said. But when you hear their reasoning and them trying to break this shit down, I be getting frustrated sometimes. Like, that's why I don't even be listening into a lot of these spaces. A lot of these niggas is just like, everybody don't need to get on the mic.
I listen to for who I want to hear speak. When I see like some of the speakers, I'll sit in there and listen for them, and then after that, I just change.
Right. Everybody don't need to get on the mic, and they be letting niggas go on and on and on and on. But shout out to Nas Escobar. He's definitely not one of those.
Not at all.
He's
not at all.
Definitely not one of those.
Thorough. Very thorough.
That's a good brother right there. But let me just play this.
Shift mandatory to work 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. That's, I mean, that don't give no one time to do anything. I can't even go and pay a bill, or take care of my personal, because of the hours and the days. I go to work at 2 a.m., get off at 2 p.m., go home at about 3. I'm sleeping at about 5 or 6. I got to get back up the next day, the next night to go back to work. So pretty much it's, I mean, you can do better. It was pretty much when I first got there and everything, it was more like 90-10. It was 90% Mexican, 10% black. If that. It was mainly the Mexicans getting all the hours and the days, Now the 90% racial workers, pretty much 90% black and 10% Mexican. A lot of them didn't speak a bit of English. And I'm trying to figure out how could you come into a place, or how could you come into, the United States without being able to speak English? I mean, that, and on top of that, in the company, it's Spanish first and then English, and it's like they putting English secondary when I don't understand that. It's caused a lot of problems because, see, like I said, the communication, there was no communication. And like I said, those that did speak English, they claim they don't speak English and they didn't want to translate, so a lot of times we got mixed communication, They'll tell me they said one thing when they said another. The Mexican.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And these are folks, man. We got to look out for ourselves, man.
Absolutely. And what happens is, and I'll tell you a recent experience. So someone on the spaces brought up this, and it just rang for me. How sometimes they will provoke situations on the job to try and get you fired. And that's a way for them to help someone else that they may know, secure that position. And so a lot of y'all in the back, know my son recently got him a little job. I have a 17-year-old, first little job, And so a situation happened on the job where they asked, and this older lady, black lady, to do something, and she said, "Oh, I never used this, equipment or whatever it is before. Can you show me how to do it?" No one would show her how to do it, so she attempted to do it herself. So another person on the job who's Hispanic, it's like, you know what? Just move out the way. You always effing stuff up. So this is what she's saying to her. You always effing stuff up. This is not even a manager, and if it was still inappropriate or whatever. So she was like, "Well, I told you I didn't know how to do it. I asked for help. No one helped me, so I tried to do it on myself. Just move out the way." This is what the girl said. So she's like, "Hold up. You don't talk to me like that. Because I asked for help. If I did something wrong, show me how." And the girl got in her face or whatever, and they like face to face. And this is the Hispanic girl as the aggressor, hops in this woman's face, threatening her, cussing at her, spitting and everything. My son is witnessing this. And he says, they tell the black lady, just go home. First of all, she wasn't the aggressor. And the excuse that they used was because the black girl only had about another hour left, to work. And the other girl had just came in, not too long.
So they did her a favor.
So basically she gets all her hours, but I get to listen. So no, first of all, she was the aggressor. You should have sent her home. I still should have got my hour. And she should have been written up if not fired.
Right. And also, I remember you talking about when your son was first looking for a job. A lot of the places wanted bilingual.
Yeah,
he was having a hard time getting a job to begin with because
he interviewed this place. He applied 2 years in a row. He would secure the interview, and once he would get there, you can tell by his name, his ass ain't Spanish or bilingual. And the application asks, "What languages do you speak? Do you speak any other languages other than English?" And obviously not. So you already knew that before you gave him the interview. Once you get the interview, "Thank you for coming, but we're looking for someone bilingual."
Right. Right. So again, any means necessary, family. We gotta do what we gotta do. All is fair in love and war, and we are at war.
And what is the first rule? The first rule to nature: self-preservation,
self-reliance, self-preservation.
Yeah.
Self-preservation.
Yeah. That's the first rule of nature. So we're going back to nature.
Right. All right, family. Make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell as well. Share this out on your social media platforms. Let everybody know that we are live. We're about to get into some of these current events, talk about some of the stuff that's been going on out here in these political streets, social political streets. So what you want to get at first?
I was like, where do we start? Oh, well, you know what? This is, funny, fun, kind of. We can start here. So a few of y'all faves, because ain't none of my faves, attended the White House Correspondent Association dinner. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but you had your typical, Ku Klux Klan members dressed in their best and smiling, showing all 32 teeth, TEEF.
Now, what is this event? What is this event about anyway? What is this?
I don't know. It's a White House Correspondent Association dinner. So I don't know. Some event that was given by y'all boy.
A luncheon.
Yeah.
A lunch. Now, was there any white celebrities there, or this is just a Negro festival?
Kim and Pete went.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't see too many, excited about that, which was a huge red flag for me, to be honest, because again, midterms coming, y'all, right? So they got to get all, they Sambos out here to, make us think that this is a, Black excellence at the White House when it's not.
Yeah.
So I just thought the only white people I saw, honestly, was Kim and that dude. Honestly.
Yeah.
So you had Ben Crump, and he had the nerve to hold up the black fist. You had Ronnie DeVoe, April Ryan. Everybody knows she's a Democratic shield. Cheryl Lee Ralph, Don Lemonade, Sour Lemons, Fat Joe, which I think is interesting because he just did something I want to say with what's y'all boy name with the perm? They need to eat. He needs to eat.
Oh, Al Sharpton.
Him. He did something with him recently, and they was talking to him about issues for us, which made no sense because he ain't Black. Anyway, Mario Van Peebles, Chris Tucker, Al Sharpton, Mr. I Need to Go Eat, and Joyless Reed, Stale Gail King, and Kyla Pratt was there. I like Kyla Pratt, but she was there.
Yeah, I like Kyla Pratt.
Just the
I
name
don't know nothing about her, but I like her as an artist, as an actress and everything.
Yeah, and her dude actually has a her dude. His father has a tattoo shop here in Compton.
Okay, so she got a brother.
Yeah, she got a brother. She got 2 daughters, I believe, with him. Yeah, he's Compton dude, and he has a tattoo shop here.
Okay. Now I want to know what you thought about. I want to know what you thought about what this immigrant was saying. I don't know if he's African or Haitian or where he's from. But I want to know what you thought about what he was saying.
Oh,
this guy right here. This was kind of interesting.
Was
to me,
but I was offended.
It was some bullshit at the same time.
It's not my job. It's not my job.
All right, let's. I ain't gonna play the whole thing, but let's listen to some of this mumbo jumbo right here.
Black Americans are the gods of this earth, and all African nations are waiting on them for freedom and Black liberation.
Seriously wrong with you. Do you guys know that you guys are the original gods of this planet? You guys are the geniuses that everybody in the world is looking up to for result, for answers. Do you guys know that because of your egocentric, narcissistic ways, that till this day, you'll still do it? You'll think that you're better than everybody. And that's what the white man use against us today. You guys are the gods. You guys are the ones that all African nation is waiting for African unity. But because you think that you're better, I mean, what am I doing? I'm not from Africa. Oh, it's so dirty. Oh, what am I doing there? I'm not going to run be a monkey.
So
I'm lost on that part. On that part.
You try to start off with like some kind of backhanded compliment, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
you're try to stroke our ego a little bit. Don't y'all know y'all are the gods of the world and everybody is waiting for you and we looking for you for the cues and all of that? First of all, it's not foundational Black Americans' job to save the world.
Right.
Okay?
But I thought we don't have a culture. I thought we didn't have a culture. So that's, being that we have no culture is what they've been saying lately. And we were the slaves, right? Akatas. Now we're the gods and the savior for everybody.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So obviously, okay, he doesn't ascribe to that. He doesn't ascribe to the, just going by this video, he doesn't ascribe to the foundational Black Americans have no culture philosophy. His philosophy is we are responsible for the worldwide detriment, oppression of Black people all over the planet because we're not saving everybody. We're supposed to be what he means by gods is the saviors. We're supposed to be the saviors for Black people all over the planet. Why you niggas ain't saving us?
That's what Tariq been saying. This is exactly what they've been wanting us to do. And now that we're saying, okay, we're going to delineate because Pan-Africanism has not been working. It hasn't been a mutual, thing. And so now we're just going to save ourselves. Now, all of a sudden, are we going to start seeing a bunch of videos like this? Save us, God.
Right.
Black Jesus.
Right. But we so arrogant and we don't want to be African because it's so dirty and blah, 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 blah. Listen, we are the only ones that have been African.
Period.
Africans don't want to be African.
Oh, speaking of
Africans don't want to be African. I told y'all before. A lot of these kids over here where I live at, it's hella Africans. The whole West Africa is over here in Gwinnett County. Not even just West Africa. They got a lot of East Africans over here too. It's hella African immigrants where I live at. And a lot of them, what they do is they change their kids' names. You know what I'm saying? I get a little African kid in my chair, whatever. I talk to him, hey, what's your name, man? And his name is Peter, Christopher, Joshua, John, just regular, ordinary European names. And I'm like, what's your real name, man? You know what I'm saying? Right. Because I know that they're African. You know what I'm saying? I see your mom over there with the vestment wig on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what's your real name, kid? And they always actually have a tribal name that they go by at home. You know what I'm saying? But they're like low key ashamed of it.
But their families are teaching them that type of shame.
Right. Right. Isaac, Sarah.
Cultivating coons.
Right. So they try to, their thing is you have to assimilate into Western culture. Western means white, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They teach their kids to assimilate. Foundational Black Americans, we don't assimilate. You know what I'm saying? We were the ones over here screaming free South Africa and all of this shit. We've been over this many, many, many times.
Right.
My co-host and I both have Africa tattooed on our bodies. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones that been celebrating Blackness, number one, and Africanness overall, number two. That's part of foundational Black American culture. Bigging up Africa. That has been part of our culture for the longest. You know what I'm saying? Our scholars, our foundational Black American scholars. Right now, Dr. Browder is in Africa digging up the history over there and letting the world know what the real deal is.
Right.
As we speak. You know what I'm saying? There's no African scholars, because scholars on the scene right now. You have some here and there historically. Sheikh Anta you know what I'm saying, comes to mind, but not many. The majority of when we talk about master teachers, the majority of them, they come from here or they come from the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But Africans themselves do their best to try to be white.
Right.
Hold on.
Make sure you guys are liking and sharing this broadcast out, family. We're going to get heavy tonight. I have, after my brother finishes, another one video that I want him to share because it kind of ties into this.
But yeah, I don't know if dude was trying to be slick with his little
It was.
diatribe or whatever the case may be. It was this backhanded compliment and all that. You sitting there with these cat eyes. I don't know what kind of contacts he got on and shit, but
right.
Negro, please.
All the way. Sit your ass down. Because again, we're no longer doing the heavy lifting. It's hold your own nut season at this point, because we've been holding our own by ourselves for too long. And at this point, we're cool with that. We don't even have a problem with it. If you notice, we're not out here telling them you need to do this and that, and you guys are the gods of the world. You know, we're not doing that. We're saying, okay, that's fine. If we got to do this solo, as we've been doing, that's fine. Understand though, we're going all the way solo though.
Right. We've been doing it solo, but the problem is we've been trying to carry everybody else.
Yes,
so now we letting go of the dead weight. And so just watch us work. That's all I can say. Just watch us work. And take notes.
That's it. And it's funny. Also, if you want, I just put a video in our materials, and these are two Nigerian women, both with wigs on, but one thinks that what one is doing is worse than the other. And if you can play that video, and it's basically cake soap.
What is cake soap? What?
Cake soap debate right here.
It's a cake soap debate. Okay, let's hear this. Let's hear this. 1 second, family.
And thank you to my sister Nikki for sending me this.
She said it's a cake soap debate. Hold on. Oh, I can't. Okay, let me. I hate when they got these ones that I can't blow up like that, but y'all can see it though, right?
Yeah.
Truly believe that that is the thing for you, then fair enough. However, I think the issue comes if you feel like you're going to do better at work.
It's not that. For me, it's more of a personal thing, you know. And we're here standing today is the 100th anniversary of women getting the right to vote. You know, I'm not going to be here and having somebody with fake hair on telling me exactly how I should look like. I mean, you're Nigerian, right?
I am.
You should be here in your traditional clothes. You should take this freaking wig off. Let's show them Africa. I think this is where we have to go. You know, you can't, just the wrong person to kind of come and talk to me about it. You know exactly. If I go and open that little cupboard of yours, I see something which will be exactly there for a dark spot. You know, we all go through. It's good. It's been going on. Take your wig off. Let's show them. It's been going on for decades. You know,
I think what your issue is that actually you're arguing
I don't think I have an issue.
Which isn't in the realms of possibility. If I took off my wig and had my afro hair out, I could straighten my hair and it would look like this. I think the realms of possibility, if you was to go if you was to go to Africa for a month, it's within the realms of your possibility to have darker skin. If we were to move to the North Pole tomorrow, it's not within the realms of our possibility to get light. That is my problem.
Isn't it just being more accepting regardless?
Exactly.
Regardless of whatever colour, skin, whatever, just to be more accepting of one another's choices, isn't it?
Well, there we go. To me, it's whoever choices, honestly. And I feel, you know, what I use actually are out there, you know, available for who can afford it and if they really need it. I mean, I'm against anything under the counter.
Well, is it safe? I mean, this was another point.
But what
side effects of the lightning cream, liver, nerve damage. You know, people that have scars on their body where they've been
that they have got not over the counter and. Okay,
under the counter products, they will never stop. That's the thing. We can't stop this. This has been going on for decades. You know, you name it, slavery, this is part of it. You know, people have done it, my grandmothers, everybody. You know.
But why?
Because
is it because you feel more accepted?
It's not about acceptance. It's about, you know, you go under the tent.
To go and use these methods.
Hold on.
Beetlejuice is all I can say. Beetlejuice.
I'm very confused, man. I don't know. But
the British accents, was it that?
No, one girl has a British accent. The girl with the red Michael Jackson jacket on, where's she from?
Africa, I don't know what part.
Is she African or Caribbean?
Nigerian. I think she's African.
Oh, the one that's bleaching might be Caribbean.
You think so?
She didn't have a British accent. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Don't get me to try to decipher this shit. I don't know what's happening. What are they arguing about?
The argument was about her lightening her skin. So her thing was, okay, well, take off your wig. You Nigerian, right? So take your wig off. If you're gonna talk to me about, me lightening my skin and me with this blonde wig, I'll take your wig off.
Gotcha.
And she was saying, like, where I'm from, as far as the soap or whatever, it's everywhere. It's in all the stores. So people are not going to stop doing it. We can talk about it all you want, but people are not going to stop doing it. I'm not going to stop doing it.
Well, in that case, Thriller is right. I agree with Thriller. I don't agree with Thriller, but what she's saying is correct. She's saying, you judging me, bitch, but you doing the same shit. She's right on that.
Right, you're just not bleaching your skin, but you're hiding your African.
It's the same mindset. It's the same mindset. She's right on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, the fact that she's sitting there with a British accent, and westernized regalia, she's not
to two white people.
That's the part that was really fucking me up. The white people are sitting there like this. White people was like,
go ahead.
I would like to be a fly on the wall in the green room with after this segment right here, when the white people go back to the green room and talk. I would like to be a fly on the wall for that one. They like, we got these niggas, man. These niggas ain't never gonna wake up. We got these niggas right where we want them. Oh, it's fabulous. They having tea and crumpets, and they like, it's fabulous. Oh, we've done a great job. They are praising and thanking their alabaster ancestors for doing such a fine job. Lord Jesus.
It's embarrassing. And again, we do not have a cake soap culture.
Foundational Black Americans do not bleach their skin.
We'll wear some weave. I'm getting a weave Tuesday. Letting y'all know right now. It's braids, but it's weave. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna get some hair.
I will say this. Brown Skin Baddie put a question on her story. Shout out to Brown Skin Baddie. She put a question on her story about Black girls wearing weaves, and the question was something like, what did she say? Like, basically, are y'all trying to be white?
No.
Basically, it.
Absolutely not.
Let me see if it's still up there.
It's a protective style.
Right. But basically, I forgot. But that basically was the crux of the question that she was asking. And I said no, because Black people have been wearing wigs and hair pieces before white people were even walking on 2 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, it has been a thing in the past, you know what I'm saying, where people putting conch in their hair and all of that shit. And it was even that, like how you said, it's a protective hairstyle. Even when they were doing it, like during the Reconstruction era, during Jim Crow era and all that, it was a protective thing on another level, because you could be accosted out in the street for walking around with natural hair, especially as a Black woman. You know what I'm saying? It was a reason why Black women wore scarves, and your grandmother and all that went out of their way to straighten your hair and all of that, so you could go to school or go to the job or whatever without being accosted by one of these psychopathic ass white supremacists out here.
Not just that. Remember in Louisiana, right after slavery, I believe, or during or after slavery, women had to wear the hair ties. It was against the law for them to walk and show their hair, specifically the Creole women, because the white women were worried about those white men looking at the Black women, and they were raping them, bitch. Y'all knew what was happening, but it was a law that we weren't allowed to show our hair. So hair has always been a very touchy topic for these white supremacists.
Right, for sure. Black women's hair is a threat.
Yeah.
That crown, those antennas, they don't want you receiving those downloads.
Right.
They don't want you to have access to those downloads. And also, it's not only are you able to receive those downloads, but like you said, it's undeniable that white men are attracted to it. You know what I'm saying? It's just an undeniable thing. They know that, damn, this dead shit I got sitting on my head can't compete when your shit is shooting up to the heavens.
Think about it. We've been talked bad about for having big lips. Now that's a multi-billion-dollar business. They asses is over here getting lip injection, ass injections. Now they want the whole curves. They want hips. Remember, your top models of yesterday was straight up and down, washboards. Now coming in, you got to have some curve to you.
Right.
Everything that we were, teased about and made fun of about is now beautiful.
It's being gentrified.
It's being gentrified, has been gentrified, but now it's also only beautiful on them. So they still call us ugly. You know what I'm saying? For our natural beauty, our natural lips, our natural asses, our natural big breasts, all these things that we got naturally that they're going and spend thousands for, now it's beautiful when they have it and it's still ugly if we naturally have it. And I blame some of these, I don't want to say I blame, but the reason why they're going to get it is because black men now, when they see, a white girl with an ass, I'm saying, oh, shoot, look at this fine white girl. She got ass too, even though she bought it. Now they're being praised. I'm sorry, Kanye married Kim.
Fake asses is not what's popping. I don't care if it's on a black girl or a white girl. That's not what's popping out here. That shit is not. It's not the lick. It's not the lick. I just want y'all to know that, sisters, that shit don't look good.
And everybody got the same shape. That's not even normal. Why everybody got the same shape? You know what I'm saying? You already know that it's fake because everybody has the same ass.
That shit don't look good, y'all. I'm just saying, man. It don't.
And you in Atlanta, so you see it a lot.
Right.
I don't see it too much.
And it be the little skinny girls too. I guess because they got the most complex about not having no ass, the little slim girls or whatever. They got a complex about that, and they just go get the dunk, sitting on them little skinny legs, and they can't even walk right. Y'all look crazy.
Yeah, like ants.
Y'all look crazy. Cut that shit out.
Yeah, the shit is ugly, but again, they get praised for it. It's one of the rappers though. I can't think of his name. It's one of the young rappers. He ain't doing that big, but he posted an IG story and said that I don't mind fake asses as long as it came from fat from your own body. That's encouraging it.
They like it. Hey, they niggas like it because these young niggas, they grew up with it, right? They don't know the difference. They don't even, you know what I mean? Like, I know what real ass is. So it's like, to me, that's like, it's a downgrade.
Look at Kylie. Kylie got lips, curves up the yang yang. And we know damn well she bought all of it.
I can't pick that girl out of lineup. I don't know what she look like. But listen.
Her lips bigger than mine now.
We took up quite a bit of time. We ain't gonna get to all of these stories. So what's on the top of the priority list that we got over here? I got some of them in the chat over here.
You want to talk about Jim Coomber?
Yeah, Democratic infighting.
Yeah. So Rep. Jim Coomber blamed progressives for alienating white voters in 2020, saying racialized voting caused Democratic losses in the House. Negro.
They don't want to acknowledge
what is wrong with you.
They don't want to acknowledge what really happened, and that is that the grassroots have changed the political game out here. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to accept that L, that their flunkies have been ineffective at misleading the black masses. That's what really happened. It ain't got nothing to do with none of this bullshit that Jim Crow Clyburn is talking about. Let me see. Go ahead. You want to read some of it?
It's gonna go down. Yeah. So during the heated backroom discussions following the 2020 election, South Carolina Rep. Jim Coonburn blamed progressives for nearly scuttling the Democratic Party's House majority, according to forthcoming book. Despite President Joe Biden winning the popular vote by 4.5% points, House Democrats lost 13 seats in the same election and entered 2021 with a tight 222 to 212 majority. These losses quickly became a source of tension among congressional Democrats, as New York Times report Alex Burns and Jonathan Martin detail in their forthcoming book, This Shall Not Pass, Trump, Biden, and the Battle for American Future, a copy which was obtained by Insider. Host of the world famous Clyburn Fish Fry, that just pisses me off, and a critical endorsement in Biden's 2020 campaign, Clyburn has served as the House Majority Whip since 2019 and previously chaired the House Democratic Conference from 2006 to 2007. The Majority Whip pointed a finger at his party's left wing in diplomatic but unmistakably terms, Burns and Martin wrote. He said racialized voting hurt Democrats nationwide in the form of a racial backlash that pushed white voters forward toward the GOP. They were already there.
Yada, yada, yada. Yada. Well, let me tell y'all what that was, family. Let me tell you what that was. The reason why Joe Biden got elected, but the Democrats still lost a lot of those Senate seats and those House seats was because you had a lot of those white voters. White voters are swing voters, family. White voters are not loyal to no political party. White voters vote in their best interest. And so there was a lot of white right-wingers who didn't support Trump. There was a lot of right-wing white folks who didn't like Trump's way of running white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? And so they were willing to sacrifice getting Trump out of there, but the rest of the ballot, they went and voted for their Republican candidates. They voted for Joe Biden just to get Trump out of office, but the rest of the candidates, they still voted Republican. That's what happened with that right there. But they trying to make up some nonsensical excuse as to make up for their incompetence.
Right.
Fish fries didn't do the trick, my nigga. The fish fries did not do the trick. Right. Let's get Jimbo up out of there. Marcel Dixon for Congress down there in the 6th District, South Carolina. Make sure y'all go to
Marcel
for Congress.com.
Yeah, marcelforcongress.com /donate, because we also need those donations, y'all. So if you can't vote because you're not there in South Carolina, you can also push him up, so that this just helps get the word out about him. So make sure you guys are donating to Marcel's campaign. We got to get Fish Fry Clyburn out the paint, like now, tomorrow, today. So this just came across my timeline, so I guess we're gonna go up here and then we can go back down there. I thought this was another crazy article. This is in the New York Post. It was written by Douglas Murray. Reparations aren't about justice; they're an act of revenge.
I'm glad you picked that one. I'm glad you picked that one. My mind was just wandering a second, but you just snapped me right out of it with that one right there. I was reading that shit earlier. And shout out to you too, man. Shout out to my co-host, man. She be on the job. I could not do this show without her, man, because today last couple of days, I was busy, first of all, looking for houses and all of this shit. So I'm kind of out the loop. But she was sending in all of the articles like, read this, nigga. Look at this bullshit right here. Hey, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. So shout out to my co-host, because I definitely couldn't do this shit by my damn self, right? Let me see if I can find that article. I got it over here.
It's not too far up. It's not too far up from the bottom.
I got it right here. I got it
Okay.
inside the chat over here. Just tell me what the is it in Rolling Stone?
No, New York Post.
Okay, here you go. Close this right here. You could start reading it while I'm pulling it up.
All right. So again, this is New York Post. This was an article actually from yesterday, written by Douglas Murray, white dude. Reparations aren't about justice, they're an act of revenge. 10 years ago, the idea of reparations sat on political fringes in America. The question of whether or not compensation should once have been paid to former slaves had died out. Not least because by the start of the 21st century, no one in America had actually suffered from slavery. The country was a century and a half away from the bloody Civil War it had fought over the issue, but there's a tendency in our own age which does not allow wounds to mend or heal. Indeed, there is a movement that locates long healed wounds in order to rip them open again and then complain about the hurt caused to themselves.
Stop right there for a second. Stop right there for a second.
I'm offended again.
Yeah, this dude, he know he full of shit too.
Oh yeah, and Marcel challenged him to a debate, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Let's get him in one of these Twitter spaces with our brother to shut this bullshit down. You know what I mean? Because oh damn, I thought this was over here. I forgot who sent that to me. That's all good. But yeah, somebody has sent me a perfect TikTok video that somebody did responding to people who say we don't deserve reparations because none of us were alive during slavery.
The effects of slavery was passed down to us. Fuck that.
Right. And he did a perfect illustration of that. That's why I like, the way that we use social media to get these messages across. You know what I'm saying? People use their creativity on social media. So he had a TikTok where he gave an example of this white girl. I think her name was Bethany, young little lily white girl, Bethany. And he went back into her ancestry to her slave owning great grandfather, whatever it was. Talked about his history and how he owned slaves and what he did with the money that he earned from slavery and how that got passed down to his son and the land as well. The money and the land got passed down to the next generation. And then they talked about what that son did, throughout his lifetime with the money and how he passed it down to his son. And then that son sold off the land, started a company, and blah, 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 blah. And eventually this company ended up getting passed all the way down to Bethany. So Bethany, all she had to do was be born.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And she was able to reap the benefits from stuff that didn't happen while she was here. So should Bethany not have that wealth and that business and all of that privilege that she has since she wasn't here when the wealth was generated for it?
Right.
Because that's the logic.
Wealth is. We got generational debt.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So if a debt is owed and they're going to pay it. Now go on somewhere with your white tears. Bye.
Say that again because I need them to catch the wording because we're not requesting. She said a debt is owed and y'all gonna pay it.
Y'all gonna pay it. Even Malcolm said,
that's all.
We coming for our check. Malcolm said it. We coming for our check.
That was
and we stomping hard. So yeah, again, you guys can read this article on New York Post. Our brother Marcel actually saw this and he was just like, hey, sir, tag him. Why don't we have a debate about this topic? Because you off, bro.
And what's the white boy's name?
Douglas Murray, Murray.
Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, that's basically the gist of his bullshit ass article. Y'all niggas don't deserve it because y'all wasn't here. But he also said something about he was making some nonsensical comparisons to us with the Jews and Native Americans and bullshit. Y'all go read that. It's in the post.
And just speaking of reparations, because this one just came across my timeline again today, and I just added it in. But since we're kind of talking about reparations, I'm gonna throw this in here. So AAPI Coalition announces 20 million in new state funding. So basically, members of the AAPI community and elected officials celebrated Thursday after receiving a $20 million investment to combat anti-Asian hate while also going to fund supportive services. Here we go with this bullshit again. How much aid and money they need for this? Because we ain't seen none of the anti anything that they've gone through.
Right.
That we
So,
haven't gone through as Foundation of Black Americans, by the way.
So that's this week. They're celebrating an additional $20 million in aid to combat anti-Asian hate. Right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
our black asses ain't got nothing. Not even legislation.
Cops kill man over stolen Pokemon cards in the Target parking lot. How about this anti-black hate?
Right.
Where's the resources to combat this?
Right.
A man is dead and several are injured after.
Wasn't there an anti-lynching bill passed? I don't know if it passed on both sides, because to me this is lynching, because we're not going to call lynching hanging at this point. Lynching is something different than it was yesterday.
Right.
You know,
lynching just means a public killing. Yeah, this is a Target parking lot.
And they not only killed this man, other people were shot and injured by the police officers as well, including a teenager.
Right. And so I'm not even going to read the bullshit story, but I'm just using this as an example. I'm just using this as an example. You know, a couple of people cursed out some Asians at the nail shop, and they got an additional 20 billion this week. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Negroes are still getting killed. Children is still getting murdered by state sanctioned race soldiers.
And it was already deemed justified. It was already deemed justified by the chief. He put out a statement and said that, because people were complaining, again, this happened, at a public store, other people were injured, etc. And he basically said that, hey, I support the officer and what the officer, had to do.
Crazy. Now, I didn't even know this history about UGA. I live not too far from there. It's probably like an hour ride from here to Athens. And people out here are like diehard Georgia Bulldogs fans. You know what I'm saying? So you see Georgia UGA paraphernalia all over the place around here. But I did not know that part of where this college was built was a black community where they used eminent domain to get black folks up out of there.
Not surprised though, are we?
Right. It's not really surprising at all, because we know that this type of tactics took place. It's still taking place all over the country. But check it out. University of Georgia experts estimate black residents who were displaced to make room for dormitories should get $5 million in reparations. Should get $5 million in reparations.
This happened in the 60s. That's not too long ago, you guys.
Right.
So it says black residents who were pushed out their Georgia homes in the 1960s for student housing are entitled to upwards of $5 million, a new report shows. According to a University of Georgia economic analysis published last week, the former residents of Lennontown took a financial hit when they were displaced in the 1960s and were compensated next to nothing for their homes in Athens, Clarke County area.
Crazy. A lot of these people, it says a lot of these people ended up in the projects. Some of them ended up homeless. These people owned land. They had farms out there. They was growing chickens, pigs, all type of shit. They had a community out there. They said everybody was looking out for one another. They were doing business with each other. This was a thriving rural black community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just working with each other, making sure that each other was all right, supplying their own needs, growing their own food. You know what I'm saying? Slaughtering their own animals, all of that shit. And through eminent domain, they said, nah, we got to get y'all up out of here because we need to put some dormitories over here. And then what is UGA known for? Their football team. Another goddamn plantation.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-billion-dollar operation of Negroes running up and down the football field for free.
Niggas police.
Risking limbs and, you know, psychiatric shit with this CTE stuff and all of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not able to reap the fruits of their labor whatsoever for a chance at making it to the NFL.
No guarantee.
You know what I'm saying? So this is just plantation all over again, man. This is just an evolved version of the plantation. And they got black folks up off of their land in order to do so. So that's adding the insult to injury right there. Crazy. Crazy. We got one more?
Yeah, one more because I have to pick my son up from work. All right, I want to hit this one because I think it needs to be talked about. It needs to be highlighted. We're seeing a lot of these stories out here with sisters, and a lot of times they get swept under the rug. A lot of attention isn't given to this. So this I got from National Black Guide. This is also a IG page, and they kind of report a lot on Black, news issues. Nonetheless, FBI joins search for Felicia Johnson, woman who disappeared after applying for a job at a Houston gentleman's club. The FBI is now assisting Houston police in search for Felicia Johnson, the 24-year-old who disappeared after applying for a job at a Northwest Houston gentleman's club. Felicia also uses the name Felivia Marie, has been missing for 12 days, according to her family. She was in Houston to celebrate her 24th birthday to make some extra money when she disappeared without a trace. Community activist Cornell X, who is assisting Felicia's family in the search, said once she didn't get the job, she got in the car with an unknown man because her Uber was running late. That is the last time she was seen. Her bloody phone was later found on Edrich Parkway near Bear Creek Park by her family members.
Now that don't even sound right. Who said she got in the car with an unknown man? Who said that? Where'd they get that information from? Because
it says Felicia's family in the search said once she didn't get the job, she got in the car with an unknown man. Well, they weren't there, so how do they know that? So they obviously have to get that information from someone at that spot. And where's the cameras?
Let me tell you something. Black people don't do that.
Right.
Black people don't do that.
She knew, or she thought she knew, maybe.
She's not from Houston, right? She was in Houston to try to get a job at the club.
Mm-hmm.
My Uber's late, so I'm just gonna get in the car with some random dude, and I'm out here by myself.
Right.
Black people don't do that.
Also, I just can't imagine, a 24-year-old.
What am I late for?
Alone like that out of state. Where your homegirls at? Like,
I can see that though. I can see that. I can see that to a certain degree. Going out there by yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you trying to make moves. People in your circle ain't on the same type of time that you on. So you know what I mean? Some people just I can see it. I can see a young girl getting up and going. She knows it's money out there in Houston on that strip club scene. A lot of strippers around the country ain't making money like that. But they hear about places like Atlanta, Houston, Miami. That's an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? For somebody that's in that line of work. So I can see that part of it. But what am I late for that I'm gonna get in the car with somebody? What am I late for? Yeah.
Oh, come on, baby girl. You ain't gotta wait. Just I'll take you. Where you going? Okay. Yeah. And they found your bloody phone at some park. So if there's a park that has a creek or a lake or something, then y'all need to be. That's where she at if her phone is. That's what I'm thinking.
Man.
But I hope they locate her. I also hope they find her alive. It's unfortunately, and again, women, we can't do this. We need to be traveling in groups. We definitely cannot be hopping in a car with strangers if, in fact, that actually happened. Honestly, you have to be careful with getting in certain Ubers. To me,
Right.
like I'm
Right. You
feel
gotta have
real.
turn the location on your iPhone. Let somebody know where you at, who you with. You know what I'm saying? FaceTime somebody. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be safe out here, man.
Right. It's crazy. And I think they said that the nightclub was cooperating with law enforcement, I guess, for video and stuff like that, but something ain't it.
Right. That part sounds funny. She just got in a call with somebody. But all right, we're gonna let you get out of here so you can go get nephew.
Yeah, he already texted me.
But again, family, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share this one out. Click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes of Sincere Love the Godcast. We do this each and every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And make sure you check us out on Wednesdays and Thursdays for the Black Business Showcase at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Who we got coming up this week, Nicely?
How do I say her name? You say Afia. We have on Wednesday, we have our sister Ophelia, holistic nutritionist. She will be coming here giving us some nutrition game on this Wednesday.
Shout out to Afia, wife of Stick Man from Dead Press. This is going to be a good one. She got a couple of vegan cookbooks out. She does courses and stuff like that on holistic living. She's also a student of Queen Afua as well. Yeah. So yeah, this is going to be a good one on Wednesday. And then we got another vegan person coming on too, right?
Yes, we have motherfucking vegan also on Thursday. Yeah, so everything we about to get our health up. We need to anyway. Y'all about to get off this pork.
It's gonna be a holistic week on the Black Business Showcase. So make sure y'all tap in with us for that. And yeah, man, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in today. This has been another great episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. And remember, family, we are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Peace and Black love.
Peace.
And reparations.
Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah is inside of the conscientious. So I move.
What would you think about a parent whose children are hungry? They let them starve. Likewise, here in South Carolina's 6th Congressional District, we are the 6th poorest district out of 435 total as of the year 2021. And yet, where is our Congressman, James Clyburn? I can tell you, he says he will be in California, in North Carolina, and Florida, and Georgia. But what about the needs of South Carolinians? I was born here, I was raised here, I live here, and I'm going to be here. You will never have to ask, where is Marcel?
Grace and peace, Black family. This is Vicky Dillard, your sister with the curly braids. And I want you to get ready for the new Master Elements project, The Spear and the Shield.
This vaccine isn't experimental. It's like a dandelion. You overlooking for their weird science.
DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love the God have taken this time during the pandemic to carefully craft the soundtrack to Black empowerment with hot tracks like God Mind, featuring Sadat X of the legendary group Brand Nubians.
We never die. I made an ancestral shrine. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen, I'm a law in the person of Sincere Love the God. That mean your arms too short like Tar Anthony Shaw.
God painted me black.
God painted me black. Thanks for that. I'm a bitch, man.
A letter to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
I say to the ancestors. Dear Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, I just wanted to thank you for all the lessons you left us. So yes, I'm more than grateful.
And the controversial song Buck Breaking God today.
Why every black show they gotta have a transgender? Either I'm crazy or this gotta be a planned agenda.
Get ready, Black family. This is a much needed project. This is the Spear and the Shield.